Hi, I want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody to Her Time. My name is Daisy, and I'm going to have my friends introduce themselves, and then I'll keep going. Go ahead, ladies.
Hi, I'm Jeanette.
I'm Regina.
Rosie.
And I just want to thank everybody for being here. We always look forward to coming together and having these conversations. So hopefully you're enjoying them as well. Let me start out by reminding everybody of our email. We'd love to hear from you. Whatever topic it is that we are discussing, we would love to hear any questions, any comments, any additions and thoughts that you may have. So I just want to share our email is hertime4talk@gmail.com. So if you have anything to share with us, by all means, just feel free to email and we will read it and respond to it. So today, we're going to talk about my word, and that's the title. It's just a very simple title, my word. And the reason for that is that we are in this time of the year, the calendar year, where, it's the beginning. Everybody at the end of one year is looking at, what am I going to do next year? What is going to be my focus next year? And so what we've decided to do is, opening this year, we wanted to talk about my word. It's just one of the things, we know that, we tend to come up or create resolutions. We have goals about our physical self, our spiritual self. There's, I know at our church, we have a 21-day fast. So there's always an opportunity to kind of reconnect with God, maybe a little differently than we did last year. And so again, the beginning of the year tends to do that. We're just kind of thinking about, where am I headed? At the end of this year, where do I want to be? Where do I want my family to be? Where do I want my relationships to be? So we thought, let's talk about my word and what that might mean for each of us. So I thought, okay, well, when I think about my word, words are critical. Words are creative, they're inspirational, they're motivational, they have a lot of positive elements to them and dynamic. We know that because of the word of God. So I actually wanted to start with John. The Gospel of John, I believe, has the best prologue. The only one I think that competes for me is in the beginning, in Genesis, but I just wanted to read it because I want to set a foundation for how important words are. And this conversation is not frivolous, it's not a commonplace conversation. It is one that we need to take more seriously. So I just wanted to just kind of establish the importance of word. And so I'm reading from the opening of the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God, and all things came to be because of him. And so we know that John is talking about Jesus. Jesus is Logos, which is Word. So that's how critical word is for us, how important word is for us. So when we talk about whatever our word for the year, our word for the next 3 months, quarter of the year, I really want us to think about the importance of it, the heaviness of it, the responsibility that comes with it. So I want to open up with my friends here and ask them, when you think about word, when you think about communication, when you think about expressing yourself, how important is word to you? Is a word or the use of a word to you?
Well, I've been choosing a word of the year probably for the past 20 years, I think. And it's not something that I live my life by. It's just a reminder of, when I choose a word, I always ask the Lord to give me
Mm.
wisdom in choosing the word. You know, what do you want me to focus on, or not so much focus on, but be aware of, you know, throughout the year? Because I think we miss things if we're not intentionally looking for them. And so I always pray and ask the Lord, okay, what's my word for next year? What do you want me to focus on? What do you want me to um, be intentional about?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I've done it.
Yeah. It's a prayerful journey for you. So let me ask you, Reg, how uh, uh, how long are you praying about the word and God's leading into whatever that might be?
You know, at the beginning of December, I start, you know, thinking about it and, you know, praying about it and reflecting on the word I had the past year, you know,
Mhm.
and just reflecting and what's the next step, or, you know, where am I going? Things like
Mm.
that. So it's usually about a month that I allow myself to ruminate on it.
Okay. Okay.
I think the word that we choose, words are important. And I believe that words set the tone for the following year. Um, like Regina, I've been uh, choosing a word for the past, I don't know, 10 years. But I think within the last 7 years, it it's been um, more important for us to set the words and to live by those words.
Mm.
Because I think sometimes we just do it out of, the fact that a lot of people do it, right?
Yeah.
But I think I want to say for the last 7 years, it's been more intentional about choosing the word and living out that word. And every year as I get older, those words are more important to me in my
Mm.
life. Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Good. Good. Jeanette, any?
For me, I've been also doing it for several years. I don't know how many years, but um, it also okay. So like, yes, I do pray about it and I do think about it and really kind of. I think I also kind of look backwards a little bit in the sense of like, okay, in this past year, what was it that if I look now, I either maybe struggled with, or maybe I don't know, maybe I just wasn't super happy with how this area of my life, how I pursued this area, or how I did not pursue this area. And so that's kind of how I think. So this year, I'm going to work on this. So that's how I choose my word also.
Yeah.
And also words, like you all have said, words are so important. And so I think about like one of my favorite verses is whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are
mm,
honest, whatsoever things are pure, lovely of
Right.
God, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So like that is how I sometimes also choose my word, is like, thinking like words that are of good report, of praise. What do I
Yeah.
mm,
focus
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. And there's a deliberateness to them, right? There's an intentional um, going after the word and
Mhm.
pursuing the word. So that's important. Um, I'll give a little background for me. I know we've been doing the word of the year forever, it feels, because I remember when my girls were little and we would have family meetings at the opening of a year, we would come up with a family word, that everybody then was aware of and attentive to. We also had individual words. The girls, they could pick a word for themselves because obviously they were in school. Their life looked different than ours. But so we did that intentionally for a long time. But I have to say that in the last, I want to say almost 10 years, I have not been deliberate about picking a word for the year. What has happened to me though is that I notice that words become really important seasonally for me. Not last year, but the year before, I was getting ready to retire from the place where I worked for almost 20 years. And I remember thinking in the heading toward the season of retirement, like, what does that look like for me? What does my day-to-day look like? What are my career goals look like? All of that. And I remember just kind of wailing over, God, just give me direction with this, because I don't know where I'm headed. And I remember God just depositing a word in me. And I held on to it for a couple of weeks. And at the end of my time at where I was, we had a gathering, gifts and all of that. I was leaving, and we had a gathering, and my coworker, who's an artist, gave me a gift that she had made. She had spent 2 months on it, creating it. And so when she gave it to me, I opened the box and it was my word. And I just like freaked out. Nobody knew what I was going through, and I freaked out. I opened it up and I thought, oh my God, that became my word for the year. It was like, okay, I have it in my office, So anyway, my point there, this was August. It wasn't January. It wasn't the beginning of the year. It was the ending of something and the beginning of something else. So the importance of that for me, it's like God's going to give me the word when I need the word and when it needs to move me in some way. So I'm going to ask you, what's your word? Where are you in terms of what your word is and how have you gotten there? We know that prayer has been a part of that. Journey with God has been a part of that. But what has brought you to your word today?
I'll go.
Go first.
All right. Well, for me, okay, so my word is intentional. And a couple of you had mentioned the word, but like the word intentional, the reason I chose that, I would say, is because when I did what I said about how I look back and think, okay, this year, what was something, I felt like this is not me like trying to be hard on myself or anything, but I look back and I feel like, man, I wasted a lot of time on things that, like I wasn't intentional about the things that I wanted and things that I feel to pursue. So like I said, okay, my word is going to be intentional, because what I feel was happening was that, weeks were passing, months passing, all of a sudden the year was over. And I was like, wow, I wasn't intentional about these things that I feel are important to me. And so that was part of why I chose that word. And then also just, I was trying to also, I kind of have a verse that goes along with it. I'm not even 100% sure if this is the one. I'm still actually praying about it, but like the verse, now I can't think of where it's at, but it's the one of do everything as unto the Lord. When you work as unto the Lord, so anyway, that's my verse. And one thing that my family does, and we've been doing this probably for the last 4 or 5 years maybe, is that at the beginning where we get together as a family and we make vision boards, which I've heard some people are like, oh, I don't know about that. But, I'm like, we're not like praising it or anything, but we are like choosing a word and just putting pictures and maybe Bible verses on things that we want to kind of focus on for the year. So that's what We
Yeah.
do. And that's my
Okay.
word, intentional. I'm going to be intentional.
Intentional for Jeanette. Amen. Who's next?
My word is believe. And I chose that word because obviously we've had a rough 2021, and the Lord was already like dealing with me. And I had one of my friends, one of my good friends, come and share with me some things that had been happening in her life. And I felt like what she was saying was for me. And I remember her words saying, I believe God, I believe He's going to walk with me. And it was as if the Lord was speaking directly to me. It was one of those God moments. And, you know, this was months before. And I had made the decision, this is going to be my word for the new year, because
Mhm.
I know that God is with us. You know, I believe that God is going to walk this journey of life with me. I believe that He's going to be with me and my family. I believe that He's going to guide me and direct me and protect me. And so, you know, that word has been with me already since, you know, like 3 or 4 months back. And it just forces me to put my faith into action, and to
Mhm.
know that, you know, He is with me and He is for me and He's not against me. And so that word has impacted my life. And every time I feel like I'm going through something, I hear the words, do you believe? Do you
Mhm.
believe? And so that's my word for the year. That's how I chose the word. And like uh the beginning of December, I was already, you know, reflecting, and I knew that that was my word for the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a word that uh helps me to know that I am becoming, that I am believing, and that I'm trusting.
Yeah. Yeah. And it keeps you coming back. It keeps
Yes.
you coming back to that place where you need to
Mm-hmm.
meet God, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Good. Reg? So we've got Jeanette with intentional, Roseline with believe. Reg, what's yours?
My sorry, my word for 2022 is move. For several reasons. I feel like the past 2 years, I felt stuck in just a place of, I don't know, unmovement. You know, I've been stuck in this place, and, you know, spiritually, financially, physically, I just feel like I've just been kind of stuck. And so I chose the word move, and I feel like the Lord gave me the word move because I was listening to a sermon, and the preacher kept saying, if you know, He will move mountains. He will, you know, if you believe, He will move mountains. And I just kept thinking, I really don't have to do the work, because God will, but I want to do the work. Like, I want to move. I want to, you know, go forward, because I feel like I've just been in the
Yeah.
same place for years. Sorry. Last year, the word that I chose was truth. And seriously, I know that word so meaningful all year long. And so this year I want it to be a word of action. You know, I want
Mhm.
to take action in my life. I want the Lord to move through me, to move in me, the Holy Spirit to move around me. And then not only that, like, my goal is to move into a home of my own. My goal is to move my body, because I know that I can get all of the healthy things and all the healthy eating right, but I need to move my body too, you know? And so there's a lot of meaning behind the word move. But then I also have what is it when my brain, it's kind of early. When you have like M is
An
Acronym?
acronym.
An
acronym.
acronym.
Wow, gosh, I could not think of that.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Yep, we're here to help.
Yeah.
And I haven't perfected it yet, but
Okay. So there's an acronym in the
for
making.
move, yeah.
Oh,
So
got it.
That's good.
Got it.
I'm working on it because I know
Okay.
that it's coming. I have, but I'm excited for this year. I feel like there's going to be a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. At any point, when you're thinking about the word, or when obviously the process started a while back, did it scare you at all? When you see or realize the intentionality of a word like move, that can get scary. So what do you do with that? Like, what do you do with, wait a minute, what are the expectations here with this word?
I think of that all the time. Like, I never thought that I could own a home as a single mom, with my salary, I just never thought that I could own a home. Right. And I never tried really, because I just thought it was too out of reach for me. And this job that I have now is showing me that it's possible for me. And so, but then I think about it and I start thinking, oh my gosh, that means that, I'll have a mortgage payment, and then I'll have in taxes and property taxes, and, all of these other things. And yeah, it's scary, but it's something that I am, excited about too. And I remember someone saying, if it's not scary enough, it's not worth it. And
Yeah.
I want to be scared into doing something better for my life and for my boys.
Yeah. Words are, again, the words are really inspirational. They're very, they push people, they direct people. But yeah, sometimes I think about, well, wait a minute. Sometimes words, I hear people talking, and I've had a few conversations already this year, and I think the word sounds like it's giving limits, though. It sounds like there are some boundaries that might be a little scary. They might be there because you're not ready to move beyond whatever that word is. I'm aware of times. What?
We need to hear your word.
Well, I was saying, I'm aware of time, so I want to share my word. I actually don't have one word. And so the reason for that is, in the last several weeks, I've been on a journey, and as structured as my life is, I tried to explain this to someone just a few nights ago. And as structured as my life is, and I need it to be, I need organization, I need things that make sense to me. My word has kind of gotten really fluid in the last few weeks. And the reason for that is that I'm at a time in my spiritual journey, my relationship with Christ journey, where sometimes I think I got it figured out. Sometimes I just think, well, yeah, of course I love Christ. He loves me. He saved me. I know the passion. I know the scriptures. I can teach. I can, whatever. And I know all of that. And then a few weeks ago, all of that just exploded for me. It was like, no, wait a minute, Daisy. I'm not done with what there is to do in your life and what your life needs to look like. So I went back to Genesis, way in the beginning. The words that were jumping out at me were formless, void, empty, vastness. Those words are really jumping out at me. And the reason for that is because at my age, at my maturity, whatever all of that means, there is still so much to love, so many people to be open to that I have not been open to. So many experiences through the lives of other people and the stories of other people that I have not allowed myself to be okay with. And so in explaining it, it was like, you know, if I have to choose, it would be a group of words. It would be formless. It would be, God gets to deposit today what Daisy needs today and what I need from her today. So it doesn't look like it will look tomorrow or like it looked yesterday. So my word is not a specific word. It's a concept of openness. It's a concept of readiness for that time, that day, for God to deposit into me what I need to look like and how I need to be formed that day.
For
So
you, that's scary because you're not like that. For you,
I
can
know,
see how
and
that
that's the scary part, right? Because I want a formula. Again, I want it figured out. Like I want the 4 gospels. This is the way it looks, you know.
yeah, I, you know, like waking up every morning and saying, okay, Lord, my day is open and empty to you. For you, I can see that for my personality, I'm like, that's me every day. Like, okay, Lord, you know, do what you're gonna do today. But for Daisy, that's scary.
Yeah.
Daisy needs an agenda. Daisy needs an agenda.
And I want to live life
of her
without
day.
the agenda.
You can live without an agenda?
Yeah.
Wow, that is
No, that's, you know, that's what I've been sharing with family, so that they understand where I am and they can support where I know God wants me to go. I remember being asked a couple of times when I was going through an initial illness journey that I've been on. And I remember being asked if I ever became afraid. And I can honestly say no, never. All I knew was God taught me not to be afraid. He taught me not to be scared because I know that he's in control of everything. So if I deny that, I'm denying the truth that he's deposited in me forever. So let that form me today as I wait here in this emergency room, you know, as I wait for a bed, as I wait for whatever. I'm going to let that be who I am. That's going to form me today, is that I am not fearful. So anyway, it's a scary journey. I ask that you be present with me in it, because in it, I know there'll be questions. There'll be moments where people will have to remind me, wait a minute, remember the expanse of God. Remember what he wants to do with you, even if you're already a formed life, you know. So ladies, anything else, any additions, anything you want to say to encourage her time listeners right now with their own word and their own process?
Live out that word with intentionality. Live it out and be reminded, you know, that there's a purpose for your life on earth.
Good.
Dear God, you know, like live it out, but also hear God if 1 month he's like, okay, this is what I want you to focus on this year or this month, you know? So just be open to listen and hear what God has to say.
That's good.
Yeah. That's good. Well, ladies, Reg, did you have something before we?
It was just like, this is good. This is good stuff, ladies.
Love you. I love this conversation. Thank you. I needed it. You know, it's part of my own process. And again, it's an incomplete journey that we're on, you know, and so there's something exciting about it. but there's also a need for friendship. There's a need for relationship in it. And so I thank you that you're part of that journey. for
I'm
me.
definitely going to do the word,
Acronym?
what did you call it?
Acronym?
Acronym.
I'm going to do the acronym, but no. What you do, Jeanette,
Oh, the vision board?
vision board. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
do a word vision board because I see everything in my mind, how I'm looking at the word move, but I don't think that it comes across the way, the way I see it in my head. So I want to put it down on paper. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, the acronym is a good idea too. I'm gonna work on the acronym.
Yeah. wait.
Intentional.
Intentional.
That's a long one. Yeah, that's a scroll.
Yeah, no.
Okay, ladies.
Lucy, you can't have anything. It has to be blank
Yeah.
on your vision board.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Love you all. Take care. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Mwah.